It's back.
The green ring is running.
Bobby, sometimes you're right, sometimes you're wrong.
All right. Hello, Miami Dolphin fans, and welcome to another edition of Fins Talk today on the Fins Talk Sports Network. This is Bobby Fins Talk. That is the one and only Fish Tank Hank. And our Miami Dolphins are 1-0. Fish Tank. It's been a week, my man. I know you were on the bandwagon cutting it up with Evan Posner.
Yeah.
Or Finstanza now is his new name as Fish Tank Hank and Finstanza. But I have not had a chance to catch up with you, brother. Let me just say overall this week, how the hell does it feel to be a Miami Dolphins fan?
Hey, let me tell you something. A win feels so good. Everywhere I went, my wife and I, we had victory Sunday. We had victory Monday. We had victory Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And in between all that, we also had our anniversary.
Oh, happy anniversary.
Yeah, our anniversary is on the 13th, so I can remember. And then we have today, Saturday, and here we are. Once again, to wrap it up, do it again. And let people know which direction to go, which is with us, because we know we're going to be winning them.
You got it. Hey, let me thank everyone for tuning in, whether you're watching on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. Aladino, I see in the house. Aladino, fins up, brother. William Funky, thank you for tuning in. What's up, my finnies? I'm so happy that you're here. Everyone, if you're brand new to the show, if you've not been here before, hit that subscribe button. We got great content on this channel. Dolphins content overall, especially on this show. Great Dolphins content on Saturday morning, afternoon, and, of course, throughout the week. But, oh, my goodness, what a week it's been for Miami Dolphin fans. I mean, you could nitpick all you want, in regards of Sunday. And yes, there were things to talk about and things hopefully that could fix. I will say right away, obviously, Hank, the network, we do the post-game show, and on the post-game show, we don't just talk, we're excited about the win, but we're also talking about, hey, some of the things that could have been better. The one thing we weren't talking about on Sunday night after that game was the offensive line. Without Armstead, that offensive line did very well. Basically, despite all the issues it could have had and the absence of Terron Armstead, they did great. One of the things we brought up was defense. But throughout the week, I started to feel a little bit better because one of our teammates here on Fins Talk Sports Network, Josh Wingate, he is a Cowboys fan, but his wife's a Dolphins fan. But he said when we were talking about the defense, he says, guys, listen, give it 3 to 4 weeks before you worry about the defense. They're with a new coordinator. It takes about 3 to 4 weeks until the defense starts to figure things out. So I feel better about the defense after that conversation because it's true. Vic Fangio, and in the end, despite what the defense did last Sunday, Fish Tank, they sealed the deal. They won the game. They closed it out. What's up, Ender?
What's up, Ender?
But the offense, I said on Monday on East Head Street Boys, I know where you're going. Obviously, yeah, we can't go rankings right now, because the season just started. The Dolphins are number 1 in the league, in the NFL right now. It's week 1. But I think it's bigger than week 1. I said the Dolphins are the best offense in the NFL last week after the first week. The only thing they're missing is the running game. Of course, we'll see what happens later throughout the season. Maybe it's just circumstance. But how are you feeling overall about the Miami Dolphins after what you saw last Sunday?
I feel really good about it. And I think a lot of teams are now concerned that they're going to get their butts stomped in the mud by the Miami Dolphins. And, I knew that it was going to have to be a passing game. You're not going to be running the ball all that much when you're trying to keep up with Herbert and the gang. So I I thought it was a great game. I thought it was the best game of the week.
It was. No game touched it. It doesn't matter if we were Dolphin fans. That was the best football game in week 1. Back and forth scoring. It was never boring. I've told Evan. I told Alex. Evan on postgame. Alex on East 10th Street Boys. Hank, and I don't know how you felt watching it from home, but I never at one time when the Dolphins got the ball didn't feel like we weren't going to score. It was that type of game where every time they looked confident. They looked like they wasn't like, oh, we're going to get rid of it now. We're not going to, or we're going to get, even the interception I wasn't like, oh, we're going to lose. No, I felt that. What about you? Did you ever feel nervous at any point during that game?
Yeah, I felt a little bit upset when we went all the way down there and then fumbled the ball right there at the goal, basically at the goal line. And I was like, oh, man, what a way to – that's tough.
I get that, yeah.
That's tough because that was 80 yards or whatever it was that they drove all the way down the field just to have it taken away by a stupid snap. Man, that one I was like, oh, now we're behind, and then the whole game, it went back and forth. So, it was really exciting.
I think that's fair. I think that's absolutely fair, and I'm with you on that. I get where you're going. I will say, though, the one thing I watched from that, even from the fumble, the missed snaps, or the miscommunication snaps between Tua and Connor, and even the interception, did you ever see that team have a doubt on the sideline? Did you ever see them frustrated or going, with their heads down? No, they were ready to go. They came back out, did their job, scored, and moved on. I did see that. I did not see that on the other end with the Chargers when the first time that Herbert was sacked towards the end of the game, the 2 sacks, the first sack, he was pissed. He was livid. He was, what the hell, dude? Give me some time. You never saw that out of the Miami Dolphins. And Tua was never sacked. But every time there was an error.
That's another key part. Don't just go over that speed bump because let me tell you, 0 sacks.
Yep.
0. And
kudos.
We had patchwork on our offensive line, supposedly.
Yeah.
And look at that. Holy mackerel. 0 sacks. That was impressive. And we weren't going against nobodies. You're talking Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa, so it's not like it was nobody's.
Doran James, you think of those guys. JC, these are not, their defense was ranked 20th last year. We were ranked 18th. They were 20th. I don't count this season yet because it's week 1. They're 32 and we're 31. I don't think that's going to be the way it is at the end of the season. But they got some playmakers on that defense, and Miami was able to score and dominate that defense. Evan, Shalom, Shona Tova, Rush Hashanah. Hopefully I said that right.
Happy holidays for you, Evan.
Absolutely. Saludos, Ender. Thank you for tuning in. But my goodness, what a weekend last week. What a week to be a Dolphins fan. Of course, the NFL world is totally in love right now with the Dolphins offense, unless you're a Patriot media person or a Jet. And I feel for the Jets. I do. I mean, I don't like the Jets fan base. I can't stand the Jets.
Wait a minute. I don't feel for the Jets. What do you
hey, no, in week 1 that kind of burns. If that was us, that would burn.
Jets? No,
Aaron Rodgers. I mean the fan base. It sucks. That sucks. What happened?
Fan base. You know what I feel bad? I feel bad for Rodgers himself personally. That's all I feel bad for.
Okay.
I don't feel bad for the Jets fan base. Screw them. I'm happy. All right?
All right. You're right.
Injuries happen every year. All this talk and all these pictures and stuff that people sent me that were Jets fans of Tua laying on the ground and stuff like that.
Okay.
The Jets fans can go.
What's up, Hammer Time?
Okay.
Understood. I feel you now. I got you. All right. Feel for Rodgers. I'll correct myself. I feel for Rodgers. But couldn't happen to a better fan base. I agree. All right. So, sorry. Oops. Hey.
Don't ever say you feel for Jets fans.
I apologize. I misspoke. You got me. Thank you, Hank, for reeling me back in. All right. So Hey, let's go ahead. Let's roll with this here. We're gonna talk. I want to talk about a couple of these players, but also want to get into who your studs and duds were last week, and then we're gonna get into tomorrow's game, a huge game. It's a division game. The Patriots versus the Dolphins. The Patriots did lose last week, 25-20 against the Eagles, but they were in it till the end. So it wasn't a cakewalk for Philadelphia. It won't probably be a cakewalk for Miami in terms of play. I still think I know what the result is, no matter what I think they're going to do. But Fish Tank, let's talk about the race to 2,000. Tyreek Hill proclaimed before the season that he was aiming to get 2,000 yards receiving. Last week, he netted 215 yards on 11 catches plus 2 touchdowns. Do you think now that he could achieve a similar result this week, or do you think his numbers come down just a bit?
I don't know how he could keep that pace of 200 every game. I mean, that's difficult. That's a tough one. And, the nice part is that's the weakest part of the Patriots defense is their secondary, in my opinion. And if they're the weakest part of their defense and you have Tyreek Hill over there, can he whip up those yards? It depends. If Judon and the rest of them are going to be hunting Tua down, is he going to be able to get rid of the ball? So your question is, will the defense be hurrying Tua, or will he be able to get the ball to Tyreek? I still think he'll be able to get the ball to Tyreek, which means that Tyreek will still have at least 175 yards.
Okay, I like that, and that's good. I mean, I think Tyreek is aimed to do that. He said it already. They could single me, double me, triple me, quadruple me. I'm gonna get my yards. I'm still gonna be a weapon. I'm gonna cook them.
Think about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What might he get? 150? Okay, still he's gonna get over 100. He's gonna get over 100.
He's determined.
It's just a horrible day.
Yeah, which I don't think it will be. I don't see it that
either.
way. If he has less than 100 yards, well, I don't want to say that. He won't have less than 100 yards. He'll get his 100 yards for sure. But if he less than 200, 175, 150, I expect Jalen Waddle to be up in the 100s at that point.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
That's the only reason. But yeah, Tyreek, I think Tyreek is on a mission. I hope it's always team first. But I think he is on a mission. Like he said, double, triple, quadruple. I'm going to get my numbers. I'm going to get the ball. So he is determined to get that 2,000 this year. And he started off with a bang with 215 and 2 touchdowns. Yeah. I mean, he could not be stopped. It was ridiculous. Ridiculous. And let me just say, that pass.
Somebody said something about Derwood James. I don't care about Derwood James. What Derwood James do? Nothing.
Not a thing. He couldn't do nothing. Nobody could do anything. Jason Sanders. Okay, Evan. I don't know. I'm going to ask Hank, and then I'll follow up because I think people are going a little too hard on Jason Sanders. Hank, last week, Jason Sanders, he scored 9 points, okay? He kicked a 41-yard field goal. He kicked 9 points. He was 3-3 throughout that game. Then when the Dolphins scored their final touchdown, he missed the field goal. It hit the upright, came out. And then so the Evan and others have been totally scourging the kid, saying, oh, he could have cost us the game. He's going to cost us a bunch of games. They need to find a new kicker, blah, 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 blah. I think that's BS. If he didn't score those 9 points, we would have lost 34-27. He scored us 9 clutch points on those field goals. So, yeah, it hit the upright. Things happened. To me, it looked like overconfidence because even him and the punter, when they kicked it, they both got excited. They high-fived, and then they went, oh, crap, it hit the upright. Should people be crapping on Jason Sanders after week 1?
I didn't like the fact that he missed a chip shot. I mean, that kind of ticks me off.
Sure.
That's like having the 8 ball lined up on the pool shot and you smack it, and both the cue ball follows the 8 ball. It's like, no, don't do that. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
just one of those, man, that really sucks. And it sucked when he did that. However, is he done and all that? No, he's not done. He's not going anywhere. Like you said, he got us 9 points. That still counts for quite a few points. That's a lot. And, you know, as a kicker, he's not the best kicker out there, but he's also not the worst. So, you know.
I get where you're coming from, and I agree with you on that. And I will say, though, and as I said, because they said, oh, if we would have lost that game, it would have been his fault. No, that's not fair. Okay. If we would have lost that game, if the Chargers would have came all the way back and kicked the field goal and won the game, or came all the way back and scored a touchdown, we would have looked at that defense that could not stop that Chargers offense. They couldn't stop the run game. They couldn't stop the passing game. Yes, they finished. They did stop it in the end, but they did not stop it throughout that game. So if he missed that kick, and Justin Herbert would have came all the way back and scored, or came all the way back and then their kicker kicked the field goal, I would have looked at Jason Sanders going, thank you, you cost us the game. I'll be looking at all those defensive guys that we've been hyping up all offseason and said, where were you throughout this game? Xavier Howard, you did 3 penalties, 2 holdings and illegal touching. You guys couldn't get to the quarterback through the whole game. You could have stopped the run. Austin Eckler and Josh Kelly ran all over us.
You know why?
I think the anger was misplaced. That's what I'm saying. Because of one thing, they go, oh, it's Jason Sanders. It wasn't Jason Sanders, and it would have been Jason Sanders. It would have been on the defense.
Well, you could say it's on the defense. I blame the coach. I blame Vic Fangio for our first outing.
Okay.
I don't blame anybody else except Vic Fangio. In my opinion, that defense was not ready to take on Herbert. There's no way. And it showed at the end of the game when they finally started, when he finally adjusted and they started doing blitzes. Look what happened. Look what happened. He's got to adjust a little more on the fly than what he did last game. I didn't like it. I think that Vic Fangio and the fellas are going to come out and do a much better job this coming week, in my opinion. So, you know,
I do expect a better defense this week. I do.
You got to look at it. It's the first game. It's like you're warming up at the same time that you're playing, you know, and it's difficult.
And that's why I get that. And that's what, like I said, Josh Wingate, host of the Beer and Sports podcast here on the network, Fish Tank, he said it. Okay. And he was commenting throughout the show on post game. And again, resident Cowboys fan, but he said, guys, you can't judge a defense until the 3rd or 4th week with a new coordinator. You can't do it yet. So I'm going to take that for what it is, and I'm going to go with that. But again, as I've said, yeah, you could blame him. But again, I like I said, if we would have lost that game, and we didn't, we won, we did win. Okay, that's all that matters. But my thing is that people go, oh, we could have lost that game because of Jason Sanders. No, if we would have lost that game, if the blame would have been put on the defense, because the offense played lights out, despite no running game. The offense was mid-season form. Okay, the defense did not show up. Sanders made 9 points. So it is what it is. Ralphie boy, what's up, Ralph?
Hey.
If JC missed anything below 45 tomorrow, time to bring another kicker in. Period. Serenity now. Sure, whatever you say, Evan. Anyway, so let's continue here and let's talk about him. Who is him? Well, we got to go with the quarterback.
Oh,
you know, last year
you were going to say it was Tyreek Hill.
We got past Tyreek. Now we're going to talk about the guy who was throwing to Tyreek. Tua had himself a ball game last Sunday, Fish Tank, in a shootout against Justin Herbert and the Chargers. He threw for 466 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. To you, how impressive was Tua's performance against the Chargers? And do you think he could follow up against New England in a defense that kept Jalen Hurts to 170 yards and a touchdown? Let me preface this by saying, or let me say before you answer that, Fish Tank, it was you last week who said, you know, we had the scores. We'll go over the scores later. But you said that, because I asked, my question was, who has to have a better game? I said, does Justin Herbert have to have a worse game for Miami to win? Or does Tua have to have a better game for Miami to win? And you said it has to be neutral, Bobby. Justin has to have a bad game. Tua has to have a better game. But in the end, they both had. It was both two good games. But Tua, you said Tua was going to throw for 300 to 400 yards, and there were some people in the comments saying, "Hey, you're crazy."
Yeah.
466, 3 touchdowns, INT. Talk to me about Tua. Does he repeat this performance against New England? Or do you think New England, with a better defense, obviously a better defensive mind in Bill Belichick, do you think those numbers kind of come down a bit?
Yeah, well, let me first say who's crazy now. All right? No, I don't. The funny thing is, when I was watching him, I mean, nobody throws the ball like Dan Marino. But it was like having Dan Marino in there playing the game. I felt confident in Tua the whole game. Like the passes were going. Everything was smooth. No sacks. I mean, everything was fluid. So I really enjoyed what Tua did throughout the entire game. And it gave me a big boost. Now, back to your question. Your question again is?
My question is, do you think he could repeat that type of performance against the Patriots, who are the 8th best defense last season? Of course, week 1, they're the 8th best defense this year. Better defensive mind, Bill Belichick. Do you think he could repeat that performance tomorrow? And
No.
Or do you think it will come down just a bit?
No, I think he'll shoot out for around 350.
Gotcha. Okay, so lower than about 100 yards less. 350 yards. Okay. Let me just preface. Let me go ahead and talk about last year's game at home in Miami. When the last time Miami won, and then because Tua did not play against the Patriots later in the year. It was Teddy Bridgewater who started. But the last time Tua played the Patriots, the Dolphins won 20-7. It was week 1 of the NFL season. Tua threw he was 23 of 33, 270 yards and a touchdown. Our leading rusher was Chase Edmonds with 25 yards on 12 carries. Tyreek had 8 receptions to 94 yards, no touchdowns. Waddle 4 to 69 yards and a touchdown. Where Mackie Jones threw for 21 of 30, 213 yards, a touchdown, a pick. And their leading receiver was Jacoby Myers. So it wasn't until, I believe, Tua started going nuts was against the Ravens, where he came all the way back. And then, of course, that's when that MVP start went down. So I look at those numbers and you go, yeah, it's the same defense as last year. It's the same coach defense of last year. I do, like you say 350. I do think the numbers can come down a little bit. But I don't think it's going to be anywhere like they're going to hold him down to 170 yards like they did Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts and the Philadelphia Eagles are very talented. I got them going to the Super Bowl this year as coming out of the West.
I don't. I have the San Francisco 49ers.
You have the Niners. But you know how I feel about the Eagles team. But that offense, despite how talented it is, it does not have the receivers that Miami has. It does not have a Tyreek Hill or Jalen Waddle. Has a Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown.
That's a huge, huge difference.
They have good receivers. They have great receivers, but they don't have our receivers.
They don't have a world track team. We do.
Yeah, I will take the over. Yes, against Tua is undefeated against. And that's the other thing. That's true, too. Ralph's right, and I had that in my notes. Tua, the Dolphins lost at the end of the year against the Patriots. Tua was not the starter. It was Teddy. Tua is undefeated against the Patriots as a starting quarterback for the Miami Dolphins. So that's something else. I believe that Tua's numbers, I would be surprised.
You want to hear another impressive number?
Yes, sir.
Josh Allen is 0-5 in overtime.
Really?
Yeah.
Did not know that.
Yeah, Josh Allen is 0-5 in overtime games. He's a choke master. Well, my goodness. I mean, we were just talking about the Jets, but I mean, last Monday night, it was Monday night, right? Monday night, I was watching that game, talking to my brother, and he wanted to play, and I Madden, and I said, well, hold on, I'm watching this game, let me step away and start getting everything. And all of a sudden, I look up, and the game just started. I look up, and Aaron Rodgers is on the cart.
And I went, whoa! And I went back and forth. And it wasn't until the end where I realized I looked at the score and I'm like, oh, the Bills got this. The Jets beat the Bills. What?
By the
What?
punt, by the the kick return.
Wow. Wow. Hey, if this is not the year for Miami to get the East, I don't know when is.
If Miami
Oh,
doesn't capitalize on what's going on right now, forget about it. They'll be known as the Bills.
So let me go ahead here. All right, let me ask you this, Fish Tank. We're going to touch one more time on last week. And
Okay.
you don't have to go, if you don't have 3 for each, that's fine. You could just say, hey, but your studs and duds from last week. Who were your studs in game 1 for the Miami Dolphins? And then who were your duds in week 1 for the Dolphins?
My studs were obviously Tua and Waddle. Those are pretty easy. I mean, I don't even need to break those down to you. But I want to give the defense a shout also, even though they didn't do that well. I give them a shout for the end of the game on how they came once the defense was changed. Once they started, forgot my train of thought. Once they started putting in different plays, the defense came alive and sacked the quarterback and saved the game. So those are my 3.
So, and let me just make sure you were saying you said Waddle, but you meant Tyreek Hill?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So, so you were saying, so Tua, Tyreek, and then maybe that fourth quarter end of game defense that sealed the deal. Got you.
I like the way the defense responded when they needed to.
Understood. And who were your duds? Do you have duds?
Duds. My first dud is Chubb. Chubb didn't do anything really to get anything done. Studs. Fangio kind of is on the down, and so is Wilkins. Yeah, I'm right there with you. I gotta agree with the duds. Fangio, Wilkins.
Damn, Ralph. Do you mean Aaron's gone in 60 seconds? Rodgers. Oh, wow. Shots fired. All right, Ralph. I see you. Ralph coming out with fire.
No, I agree with Evan. Fangio, Wilkins, and Chubb. That was the same direction I was going. So
there you go. I think most people would roll with that. You're welcome, Pops. That's what he says. Anthony Manzano House. Well, pass coverage. You guys want to see this game against the Patriots, or do you want to see if the more complex pass coverage to go against a Patrick Mahomes or another elite quarterback later? What pass coverages do you guys want to see this game against the Patriots, or do you want to see if those more complex pass coverages to go against Pat Mahomes? Or yeah, I'm not really worried. I obviously Xavier Howard, Anthony has to have a better game. I was not impressed with Howard whatsoever, especially with the unbelievable penalties that he got on us. I would say that I would stick. First off, I think the Dolphins played man. I think it was man. I forgot. Or they played zone. I forgot who was playing man coverage, and forgive me. But I would play zone here. Again, take away Mac Jones's weapons, force him to make mistakes. That's one of my keys. And obviously, stuff the run. The Patriots are going to take advantage of the run game, of the run defense. They saw what Chargers did. And yes, they don't have sexy names in the backfield. I mean, Ezekiel Elliott is past his prime, but he's still a decent running back. They got Ramondre Stevenson, who's a pass catcher and a running back. They're going to take advantage. They saw what the Chargers did, and they're going to try to take advantage of that. The Dolphins need to stop that quick. They need to control the run game. That's what I'm more concerned with these Patriots. Evan asks, Fish Tank, are you both playing Terron Armstead tomorrow night? Or tomorrow night. For me, no. I think I'm okay with him because I still believe the Dolphins are going to get the job done. I think you let him have another week off, give him some rest, and then go with this offensive line that won last week, let it roll for another week, and then let him come back week 3 at home against the Broncos. What do you think?
I have to agree with you. You know, Armstead will probably have to start. I mean, next week. There's no sense in starting him after Lamb did so well, you know, against Bosa and Mack. So why force him on the field? It makes no sense.
Absolutely. And let me just get to one more question here from uh,
From Anthony.
Anthony, yeah, Anthony says, "What weapons do the Patriots have that the Dolphins need to worry about?" Basically, look, I get that, I understand that. When you look at their weapons, there's nothing that goes, "Oh my gosh, it's scary." It's not about their weapons. It's just like it's something Durham Smythe. When somebody looks at Durham Smythe on the other opposing team, they don't see Mike Gesicki back there. They don't see someone they have to worry about as a receiver. It's not about the player. It's about how you use them. And yes, week one they lost 25-20. Elliott and Ramondre Stevenson both rushed for one for 29 yards, the other one for 25 yards. Mac Jones rushed for 15. But don't think for 1 minute, despite that the Patriots are not going to look at the Dolphins on tape and say, hey, their defense struggled against the Chargers, and the Chargers beat them with the running game, or we're beating them with the running game. Don't think they're not going to try to attack the running defense. Also, you know, it's not about the talent on the team. It's about how they use them. And the Patriots know how to use the talent, just like Miami is now. They look like, at least on offense, they know how to use their talent. Durham Smythe only had 3 catches last week, but they were 3 damn good catches. They used them really well. Alec Ingold looked really good. You know, you look at Uzikama. I mean, they used him in a running back formation. They used him in there. Braxton Barrios. You know, if you put any of those guys, if you put those 3 guys on the Patriots, we'd be saying the same thing. Who do they have? They can't beat us. It's not about the player. It's about how you use the player. And the Patriots know how to do that. Miami knows it better, obviously, with the more talent. But Kendrick Burns, 64 yards for 2 touchdowns. Hunter Henry for a touchdown, 56 yards. You know, Gesicki is there. Juju, don't think Gesicki is not going to want to try to do something. I don't know about Parker. I think he's out. But my thing, I understand where you're coming from. They don't have no defense, or they don't have those star players, but let's not be naive. They know how to use it. They're a smart team. Fish Tank, let me ask you this. I kind of went a little bit by the keys, and let me go ahead and give you my keys to the game, and then you could go to yours. That way I rehash. Defensively, they have to have a better game. Stuff the run, force Mac Jones to make mistakes. Okay, 1 and 2. Number 3, Miami, keep the pedal to the metal. Keep their feet at the fire offensively. Yeah, maybe, you know, run a little bit more, you know, get that running game going, because I think their secondary is going to try to make some plays to stop Tyreek and Jalen. Good luck. But Miami have a more balanced offense. But they need don't let up. Score on them. Make them a how do you call this? Make this a statement game for the NFL and the AFC East. Make it a statement game with the offense. So rushing defense, passing and running defense, rushing defense and running defense, make some noise. Offensively, keep the pressure on. Do not let up. Don't be nice. When you score, if the game is over, don't play that. Make some noise against them. They're the 8th best defense in the NFL last season. Make them the 28th best defense this Sunday night. What are your 3 keys of the game, Fish Tank?
My first key is you've got to get after the quarterback. They didn't really do it last game. I know Fangio's defense is set up differently where they're not going to attack all the time, but you got to attack a little more than they did last time. So first thing is you got to contain and control macaroni and cheese. Then after that, your secondary. Our secondary has to play better than they did against the Chargers for us to come out of there with a win. And the reason why I say that is because the Patriots defense they're not sloughs. I mean, they have a decent defense, especially for getting after the quarterback. So I would say third key is our offensive line has to be able to hold their defense. If our offensive line doesn't hold their defense, it's going to be a long, long day. And that's what I got.
And I will say, Harrison had said, and I didn't mean to slip over this, But coming off a 3-touchdown performance, I think Mac Jones tries to do that again. I expect Miami's defense to make them pay for it. Much better showing this week for Miami. Mac Jones did have a good game last week against the Eagles. Again, 316 yards, 3 touchdowns, a pick. Despite their weapons, he did have a good showing. I agree with Harrison. They might try to lean on that. They might try to. I know, yes, I'm saying they're smart enough that they're going to run the ball hard, but I think they're going to say, let's go ahead and test this weaker secondary without Jalen Ramsey. Howard struggled last week. He might pay for it. We might see an Xavier Howard interception. Hopefully, we see a Cam Smith interception or Kader Kohu, who deserves some flowers. He was one of my studs last week, with that sack and coming off with Jalen Phillips. And that's the other thing. Jalen Phillips is possible. He's questionable, I believe, for tomorrow because he injured his back yesterday in practice, which sucks. So that's something to look out for. Anthony, what are your thoughts on my last comment? Bobby, I want to see more press bill coverage with our corners. I'd like to think that would be that would help a guy like Xavier. Sure. Yes, I'm with you, Bob. Pour it on the run up the score. Run up the score. Agba better step up. I agree, Evan. Agba, I would like to see step up, put him in that defensive line role, and let him eat. See what he can do. All right, so we will, as we continue here, now we're going to get into our predictions of tomorrow's game. And before we go into predictions, I would love to refresh our memories on what Fish Tank and I said last week as we put on our Miss Cleo hats. And let's see what we said last week about the game, and let's see how it all turned out. How does this year start off for the Miami Dolphins?
With a W.
With a win.
Big, fat win. 27-24 for that 51 points everybody's talking about. Everybody else thinks it's going to be the other way around and be the Chargers, but I believe it's going to be the Miami Dolphins. So screw the experts. They aren't always right.
Throw the ball perfect. Whatever you want to call it. It's always going to be there. Tua knows that. I think Tua's going to have a good game tomorrow. But I'm going to have it 24-21 Dolphins over Chargers. Start off 1-0 on the season.
Whoa. We are really close again.
We are close. All right. So there you have it. Fish Tank Hank not only predicted a Dolphins win, but like I said earlier, he predicted that Tua would throw for 300 to 400 yards, and he did. 466, just above that, but still 466, just a little bit. That's all right. And of course, you see that we got our we got our prediction hats on. It's amazing how the tape. All right. Fish Tank. Who wins? Why? Or who wins and what's the score? Excuse me. The score.
Who wins and why?
Who wins and why?
Miami's going to stomp that butt in the mud. That's what's going to happen on defense, okay? They're going to stomp that butt in the mud. Offense is going to come out and be spectacular. I think Miami's going to win this one by a margin of 28-17, the Miami Dolphins.
28-17 Dolphins. That's Fish Tank Hank's prediction. For me, I'm sticking with it. I am saying right now, look, yes, last year the Dolphins beat in week 1. This is week 2. The Dolphins beat the Patriots at home 20-7. That was a healthy Dolphins team. Week 17, an unhealthy Dolphins team with Tua out. The Patriots beat the Dolphins 23-21. New England's defense was ranked 8th last season. It looks like it's going to continue to be a good, well-coached defense. However, Tua is undefeated against the Patriots. So my prediction for tomorrow, the Dolphins win. They beat the Patriots 31-23. That is my prediction for tomorrow night, Fish Tank.
Whoa, you went up a little bit. Ooh.
There you go.
I almost said 31, to be honest with you. I kept going back and forth between 28 and 31.
There you go. Oh man, so there you go. So let's see what
But
some of the
that'll
guys.
tell you how close we've been so far this year. I said 28-17, and you said 31-20.
31 to 23.
31-23.
So
Okay,
right
that's
there,
close.
about a couple points off both ways, but that's okay. That's okay. So let's see what the guys are saying. I know Evan's gonna hold off probably. Let me make sure I don't say that. Saving his for tomorrow for pregame. But it says Fins for the win. Hunter, good to see you, brother. Eric, thank you for tuning in. Ralph, Miss Cleo time. Yes, we got it going. Okay, so Scotty, he says he's originally 31-10, but now he is leaning towards 31-17 with the Jalen Phillips news. Again, Jalen Phillips is questionable, may not play tomorrow. Let me see. Anthony, Bobby, and Hank, what's the difference between probable and questionable on an injury report? Are they saying the same thing? Because I assume it was. Questionable. Okay, so
probable means that he will probably play.
Yeah, probable is, it's still it's not for sure yet, but he's probable to play. Probably he's playing. Questionable is the same thing as it's questionable. Is he playing? Questionable. I'm not sure. I don't think so. Doubtful is I highly doubt he's going to play, and out is out. So if that helps. Probable, probably. Questionable, maybe. Not really. I don't know. Questionable. It's questionable.
Questionable. It's 50-50.
Yeah, it's questionable. We don't know. Then doubtful is unlikely. Hunter, Dolphins win 30-17. Tyreek and Waddle combined for 300 yards, and Mozart hits 100 yards on the ground and receiving. Whoa, would love it. Hammer time, 31-23 Miami. Anthony Manzano
following you.
He's following me.
What?
He knows what's up. He knows what's up.
Oh my God! You followed Bobby's numbers.
Oh, don't do that to Fish Tank. Don't do that to the Hankster.
Oh, that hurt.
Manzano has it 27-23 because it's a division rival. Get that. I understand that logic. I think that does play a role in it.
Bobby,
Anthony,
you're the man this week. Look at
that.
that. Hammer time turned on me.
Thank you, Hammer Time. Appreciate you, brother. And I will say, Evan says he's saving his for tomorrow. That's right. So tomorrow at 11 o'clock Eastern, we will have our pregame show. Miami Dolphins pregame show. We'll talk about the Dolphins, that game. Evan will get more into it. And also go around the NFL, get around the league, and talk about the other games as well. We had a fun show last week, so if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button, hit that notifications bell, and join us tomorrow morning. And then late tomorrow evening, Dolphins play at night. Late tomorrow evening, we'll have our post-game show where we'll talk about the Dolphins' victory over the Patriots. So, Fish Tank, my man.
Yes, sir.
Man, we are 1-0, baby. Going to go 2-0. We're going 2-0. I'm speaking
2-0.
2-0, baby. And it's a real
2-0.
Oh, I like it. I like it. All right. Fish Tank.
Yes, sir.
Final thoughts before tomorrow's big AFC East game against the Patriots.
I want to thank everybody for coming out and sharing their opinions with us, first of all, because I love reading what you folks have to say, and it makes this whole thing much more interactive and fun. I'm really enjoying myself now that we have quite a few people on here that are into it. And next time we talk, Bobby, we're going to be 2-0.
2-0. I love it. Let's get it. All right, guys, I appreciate all of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to smash that like and subscribe button. Catch us tomorrow, the Finstock Sports Network pregame show for the Miami Dolphins and the NFL, and of course, postgame show. It's a great show. Yes, with Fish Tank Hank with me. It's an amazing show, but most importantly, because of all of you guys who tune in and interact with us, we appreciate you all. So, Fish Tank, as always, everyone, like, subscribe, but most importantly,
fins up.
See you guys next week.